Well, I'm back. It's been a little while since I've worked on the little 3/4 horsepower engine, compressor engine. Just been kind of busy working on other stuff like that stupid car, but I did. Christopher's not here today, so I got some time, so I thought I'd work on this little guy again. I pulled the main caps off. They're brand new inside. Basically, they haven't even seized itself in here. And there was the original shims are on here. They're all in excellent shape. I just put them in order where they are. This one took a little bit of a beating because there was no oil in here, and this is your power stroke side where the engine fires onto this gear, and it tends to since it never got oiled, it pulled the babbitt just out a little bit, but didn't do any damage to the shaft. I just slightly took emery cloth over it, cleaned it up. That's all I'm gonna do. And so I get it back in shape, I timed all my spots so I don't have to sit there for 3 days trying to figure out what timing is. So that, you can sure see the paint sure came up pretty good on that. Quite pleased with that. Same as the other side with just all nowhere. The biggest thing on this one, they never used oil. That's the big cause on this whole engine. I guess farmer didn't know much about oil back in those days. Got the cam tower back together. There's the new rollers and everything. They're all pinned in, cam back on. That's why I figured I'd clean up that bit of an engine to start putting these guys back together. So there's your governor system. I'm just gambling. I'm going to put the original valve back in. There were, I don't know. We'll see. I plan to build another one of these engines. Maybe I'll do that one right, but I lapped them in. They were seating not too bad. So, and like, be honest, this engine's not going to run every day. So, the only thing I got to do is make one nut like that for this side, because I like to keep everything original as possible. That's all I've done so far since the last video. So I guess I'll clean some more parts up and I guess start bolting the engine back together. I'll probably just take the compressor connecting rod out or piston, pull that out for a bit, and we'll just work on the engine and get that dialed in, and then we'll play with the compressor engine after. So alright, I'll get some things cleaned up, and if we'll get back to putting this guy back together. I just, like I said, I cleaned up the two main. Made sure there was no old oil, which there was no oil. I put some grease in there just for right now, so when I turn it, so it's not harming anything. I figured I'm going to take the compression piston out, because I'd like to put the engine back together, and we'll get that all dialed in, and then we'll worry about the compression engine after. So, but pull this guy out. Hard to do it one-handed. There we go. There we go. Oh, this is actually a very surprise. The rings are not really that worn terribly. Difficult. The first one I got a little bit. Second one, not bad. Third one, not bad. See if I can clean this up and actually maybe be able to reuse these rings. So, kind of a win. Like I said, from what I've seen, I'll just put the piston out there. Ooh. I don't think there's a lot of wear on this engine. It was just to do with, like I said before, oil. Oil was a new thing at the turn of the century, so I can still see all the machine works in the cylinder. So, well, got that. Oh, and another thing that's weird is to pull this flywheel off. I was going to pull it off. You got to pull all this because it will not fit in between the shaft here and here. And I don't want to pull everything apart, that just so I know how it goes back together. But and then anybody's come out to give me a hand, well, I may as well die first. So I just forget it. I'll just take piece off, put it back together. But just let you know, it's a pain in the butt to get these things flywheels off without taking this all off. But it looks a lot better already, cleaning up a little bit at a time. I like to keep it all original paint, much as possible. Oh, I'm pretty surprised about this piston. There's almost no wear on that. A little bit of wear, but yeah, I can see wear in the connector rod. Again, if you do it that way to do with no oil, but that will live for another day. That I know. Here's just a little. Alright, I'll put the camera back on charge. I think I'm going to do, just to make my life easy, just to make sure, I'm going to take these two caps off, do the same thing I did with here, clean the main bearings up and everything. That way everything's got fresh oil, there's all the crap being taken out of it. And hopefully, maybe once I did that, we will start bolting the motor back on. That's my big hope. Alright, I'll charge the camera up. Okay, I got off that compressor. This was the compressor connecting rod that moved the piston back and forth. And also, this part is for your timing for the engine, your advanced retards. So, but I noticed it had a lot of play this way. The overall size of it's not bad, but you can see it's recessed in about 75 thou. And what happened is it keeps pushing your handle back, and you got to have your, you'll see later on, but there's I'm not too sure what the word is, but it's a block here that's insulator for your contact for running your engine, that hooked up to a vice coil. And this starts getting close and starts hitting your the web of the crankshaft. So what I did, I just stuck this in here in the lathe just to see, because this is where it rides up against this shoulder, this piece here. And it's not as bad on here. I'm about it's a little over 5 thou. No big deal. What I do, I got that dialed up. I'm just going to take a trim just to clean that up back to 0. And then what I'm going to do with this guy is I'll set it up in a lathe, just in the mill, and I'll bore this down, I don't know, an eighth of an inch, and I'll put a sleeve in there. But I'll bring it out another 10,000 past here, so that way my handle, I can put it all back together and my handle will stay straight instead of being pushed back that way. The easiest way I could correct it right now, or left, cast up another one and machine it, but this is the way I can figure it out. Yeah, I could probably heat up the whole thing and braze it or rod it or something, but it's not like there's a lot of tension on this, so I'll just leave it and just put a sleeve in there about, I don't know, half thou tight. Doesn't have to be very tight. I'm not going to do the whole thing because it's actually got fairly good clearance, because it's got to ride over this all the time. And what it causes it, I'll show you. There's a spring in here, and there's an indicator, a little point that comes here, and it pushes against the part of the block. This indicator right here, because this is what sets your timing up. And you got a spring in there with a little piece of metal with a pointer indicates that, and it's always pushing pressure back. So that's why it wore out the top here. Just going like that. So what we'll do, we'll set this up and we'll mill it out so it's a perfect circle, and then we'll have to make up a piece of sleeve that's exactly same size as this inside here, and fit inside here about a half a thou tight, and about 10 thou coming out a little bit just to take any up room, so I want it nice and straight. So that's gonna be our next thing on this engine. You always find stuff like this, a part worn out, and that's the easiest way for me to correct any holes or like this, is just rebush it or oversize it, or in this case it's just easier just to put a partial sleeve in. Okay, I just did this, it's literally cleaned up in about 5 thou, close enough, good enough for that, gave a nice new shoulder. Here's what I'm kind of explaining for you guys. Okay, this is supposed to ride up just like this, but this one's not, oops, because it's straight like that. This one is pushing all the way back like that. Because remember, you don't want this tight or it's going to shoot up on you. So you want a little bit of room in the overall size and render size. But it's supposed to sit up straight like that, but this, because the spring here, on my pinky finger, I was putting pressure on, pushes it back. And this stays stationary, and this crank turns, and then it starts getting close to the web there. Because there's a little electrical box, well, I shouldn't call it electrical box, I can't remember what the, it's an insulator piece of wood that goes here. And you need a bit of room in between the crank web in there. So this was my way. I'll get fix it and bring it back out, and it'll be just like brand new. This time we'll actually oil it. Alright, now I'll get this set up and we'll chew it out and make a little sleeve. Alright, you can see I've already got my piece clamped in. It's dialed in where I wanted. I use a finger gauge, dial it in. It was a couple thou because there's wear, but I'm happy. I got the vise clamped in, the mill clamp much as I can. It's tight, so that, and I can also keep an eye on if I have if the table moves, it'll show me. So I don't even think I even bored anything on the mill. I might have been something small, but usually I use the other mill in Stony. But I changed my plan. I'm just gonna bore through the whole thing and just put a whole sleeve on the whole thing, and I'll turn down the shaft a little bit, and we'll just put aluminum bronze in here. Don't have to worry about ever seizing up, and it'll wear good. So aluminum bronze is pretty good. So I guess what we'll do is we'll start boring this thing out, because I already got the little boring bar up here, and that's the boring head. And what it does, when I turn on the mill, it'll be careful, it'll just spin around. I'll show you guys how it kind of goes, and then I'll do it off camera. Like I said, I'm not too good with this mill, so just take your time, no rush. If I had a bigger mill, I could take heavier cuts, but this is just a little hobby mill, and you can see there's a new surface being made now, and I dialed the handling best you could. And also I put a piece of brass underneath that was fairly true. That way I don't hit into any my 1, 2, 3 step block. So probably takes me about 5 different times going through the cycle. Like I'll lock it in. But I can still watch the gauge on the group. Just gotta take your time. Yeah, and so that cycle, that one's done. See, my never moved. don't mind the mess you see around here. See, and then now I got a nice new surface. So what I'm going to do, I'll open it up till wherever it was damaged, and then we'll put in a sleeve, I don't know, half a thou. But won't be too tight, and we'll Loctite it. But I'll bring you back when that's all chewed out, and we'll go to the next step. Alright, I've taken enough that I wanted to take out. I know it's over a quarter of an inch I've taken out, so more than enough what I wanted. So now, I'll just take it out there. There we go. Oh, magnets, that's what's sticking. Powerful magnets. See? Oh, I just got to deburr that, that's no big deal. And now I'll have a new surface here. Still just a little bit here, but that's no big deal. You're not going to see it once I put the new sleeve in here. It'll all be buried. And you can see how I protected it by going into the brass instead of harming your tool. Alright, now I guess we'll go over and we will maybe we'll take 30 thou or so off the crankshaft. That way got a new true circle, and then we'll start making a bushing. And I think I'm only going to put this in like not very tight, but it's going to be Loctited in, so it'll never come loose. Alright, here's what I would call it, the timing mechanism handle, but that goes on here, and now loosey goosey. So now I just did through everything. I'm just going to cut a little bit, like I said, I'm going to cut a little bit off of that. And then we'll start making the bushing for this. And one thing good about it, making a bronze bushing, it'll never cease. We have a habit of letting these things sit outside in the rain, and they sit for a half a year or so, and then things seize up and you got to spend a half a day knocking it loose. So that's one good thing about it. Alright, I'll step and go cut that, and then I'll go find a hunk of brass somewhere and start machining that. Alright, it's been, I don't know, 10-15 minutes, maybe 20. Machined up my bushing. I've already made sure it fits just perfect, just what I wanted. So now we just got to pardon it off, and hopefully this goes well. I'll see if I can do this one-handed. Soon, getting close. There we go. Clunk. There you go. My hands are safe. There. There's one good bronze bushing. I'll clean it up, and then we'll test fit everything, and you'll see the end result. Well, it worked perfect. I'm happy with it. Very happy with it. Nice and turned. I have a couple of thou. It's about 4 thou loose. That's perfect. Comes on and off. That's just what I want. So you don't want it too tight. Don't want it too loose. It just takes a second to get it on. But there. So now I've done that part. I'm happy. It gave me a little bit of a gap there. What I wanted. I don't know what to do. I guess maybe clean this up. Oh yeah, we got to make a little detent. That's what we got to do. Make a little. There is a spring there, but I think that spring's shot. We got to make a little detent that rides in the little slot. You'll see when I show you. Right there. These little guys. Ooh. I guess we'll find some material. I'm pretty sure that spring in there is shot, but we'll just pick the spring out, and we'll find a new spring and see if we can make something work. Well, it's the next day, and I've got a couple hours I can spend doing something, so get back to working on this little guy. I've got bit of the compression connecting rod, that's all bolted in, it's all tightened, shim. I'm happy with that, good. I fitted all the new rings on here. Made sure I had, well, in each ring I put into the cylinder just to make sure I had 12 thou clearance from the ring, because you gotta go 4,000 per inch per ring. If you put this in here, this is just an example. I think I can do this. Oh, okay. This one's way too big, but you got to make sure you have the proper ring. You put in here, square it up with your piston, and then this is 3,000. This is 3 inch, so you want 4 thou per inch, so 12 thou clearance. So I made sure each one of my rings I could put a, well, that's the wrong one, but 12 thou feeler gauge through it. So I did all that, and now I put all the rings on here. Usually a lot of the other engines have a more of a 45 degree chamfer here. This one really doesn't, so I'm going to use, I don't even know what you call this, a piston ring clap thing. I know the word, I just can't think of it right now, but I'll use this. I'll crush all the rings and then slowly tap it in here. I got a slow white, just a little bit of thin coat of oil in here on the piston. Make sure everything's got oil in there. And then once we get the piston in here, I'm going to bolt it back onto the engine. And I already made shims up for this guy. I think it was 2 shim, 2 5 thou. It's got fairly good contacts, so what I want. Just cleaned it up a little bit. Alright, I'll put this down and I'll go get some oil and wipe that down and put the piston in. Okay, now we're going to compress these rings now so I can get it into the cylinders. Another thing, to make sure everything's spaced out, usually I like to have these about 180 degrees from each other. That one. Oh, we'll move this guy. And the piston, I got everything oiled down. Actually, that's not too bad. Alright, I'll put the piston back here. Now I got the piston compressor. This will compress the rings in. That way we can get in the cylinder. But when you use this, you want to make sure you use the right size. You can see this side going nice and straight. This side has a couple of dimples. That way it won't allow, when you're pushing the rings in, this doesn't get caught into your cylinder walls. So, just a little tech tip. Alright, we'll put this like that. Now we'll tighten it up. Oops, I did something wrong. Oh. Did I do it the wrong way? I did it the wrong way. Damn it. Yeah. Alright, now you want to make sure all your rings are in there so you don't break them. Nice and tight. I usually just tap it out a little bit. Okay. Now, since this is a real crappy design, this should have to be recessed at more of a 45 degree angle. That way we can put it in, but there's no angle on this side and there's a little bit of an angle there, so it's a bit of a crude casting job. And you don't want to pound the heck out of it, because you can snap a ring doing that way. Just lightly, if you can't push it in, well, see. There we go. I didn't even have to use my little knocker. And I oiled it, the piston's oiled, so I got it the right way. My locking pins, I put a dab of Loctite on, so I'm happy. This I've cleaned out because that's where you put oil in here to oil your connecting rod. I guess the next thing we'll do is, I don't know how far we'll go with this video, but bolt this back onto the block, maybe bolt that up. Maybe we'll put the timing gear on. Maybe what we'll do, we'll put much as we can, and then maybe the next episode see it running, hopefully, maybe. We'll see what happens. Alright. Alright, I got the cylinder bolted on, the cam tower bolted on. Still got to do the governor. And connecting rods all tightened up. It's all spinning over nicely. Very nicely. So, and I can see the rocker arms, the roller rockers, they're moving nicely. They're moving, that's good. I haven't done any adjustment or anything. I think what I'm going to do is pull that out, because that's where you grease the rod cap. I think I'm going to make my own thread and just put a grease fitting in it and just pump it full of grease, because it's probably just easier, because you're not going to press it too good with a screwdriver. And I have to get some copper washers to put on the cap for your access to your exhaust and intake valve. Seal it. And then we have to make that an insulated piece. I put a thing that it had to be kind of fairly not wobbly, because we got a machine make this fit in here, and this is where your contact hits that little striker down there, and that's how we get a spark for the spark plug. You have to hook it up to a buzz coil, but we still got a little ways to go. But at least it's starting to look like an engine now. Let's go put the governor on. Well, I'm back to work on the little engine again. I think I'm gonna probably end up leaving the video as this. Just the reason is I was gonna actually try to see if we get a pop out of this thing, or at least a little bit of fire started. But these are for the valve cages. There's a seal. It's almost like a crush sleeve, but it's just a piece of copper gasket that goes in there, and then it seals up your valve cages. But if one, because I guess one of them was broken and someone welded it, excuse me, they welded it, and you can see there they burnt. Didn't do no damage to the land in here, which is good. But I was going to think about making it, and I said, and Ryan got looking, and it was like $5 a piece, so you're gonna go buy a couple of them. Just cheaper just to buy it, and then trying to buy a piece of gasket or copper sheet. Copper's not cheap these days, so that, and so that'll take a little while to get that up here. And I do have, sorry, I don't know what the correct name is, but this is this type of insulator wood. That's what I was saying, it goes right. We got to machine it up to fit it into here. So I have kind of an old one to go by for a pattern, and so we'll machine that up. I think there's a couple of screws that go in there, and put that in there. I do have one fan that goes here. I think I have a muffler. Not too sure what else. I think that should be pretty close to getting it running then. Like I said, I'm going to run it without the pump for a bit, just to get everything dialed in, and then I'll worry about putting the pump back in for the air compressor part. So, I have no idea how long this video is, so that's why I'm just going to kind of just cut it off right here. I only work on this engine from here and there, and I'm also working on the Stickney too. I have some video coming up on the Stickney soon. So, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next time.